Check 1 1 2. Let's try this again. Maybe this time I won't destroy my desk by accident midway through the opening of the live stream. Oh goodness, that was weird. Um, let's just check YouTube, make sure we've got it up and running. Yeah, all right, we're good there. I'm yeah, just checking my mic, make sure that it's all good. That was very strange. I have not, been doing the live streaming here for a couple of years. Never had the desk just kind of disintegrate. Um, but that's what happens when you kind of wedge yourself in here like this. It's weird. I'm sitting in the air, but I'm kind of Indian style. I've got my legs crossed, kind of underneath me, and sometimes when I move my legs, I'll hit the side of the desk, and it moves, and that time it moved so much that it came dislodged, and I was like basically had to grab my computer really fast, like, oh gosh, and then it's like, well, we better kind of maybe restart this. Luckily, we were just getting underway, so let's back it up. And let's take one more spin at this. All right. Yeah, there we go. Oh, let's see here. Oh, hey, there's Eddie. I haven't seen Eddie in a couple of days. That's good to see. Good to see Eddie back in the mold, back in the flow, back in the groove. All right, let's do this. Greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here. New Pragmatics. Time for the feedback loop. So good to have you along. We've got a busy morning. We've got Ricardo. We've got Bryn, Kara, and Abraham are in here. Heartfelt waves to Eddie and Abby. I know that you both are working through projects right now. Welcome to Fonzo. Fonzo has joined the program. I'm going to be meeting with him a little bit later today. But for right now, let's jump in, and I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get into some student work. Okay, so where I want to start actually, there's a lot of tabs open here, but they all really go back to the work that Bryn has done. And Bryn yesterday was looking for ways to expand and build out on her competitor matrix. And I really, really, really like the direction that you've gone, Bryn. The thing that I think is really important when you begin to look at the competitors is not only kind of breaking down your observations. I do like having them in a spreadsheet, because I think that making notes as we go along the way is a lot more effective than just clicking through the different sites and kind of going, oh yeah, I know what they look like. You're actually taking the time to go through and summarize your thoughts, which you've done very well here. You do have a couple of more here, Magic Kitchen and Factor, but at this point, based on your summary notes that you had here, you listed out the segments that typically are targeted are environmentalists, athletes, people with dietary restrictions, older adults. I think that those are logical places to start. Because when you look at these sites, it should become very clear. Health. It's healthy eating. That says nutrition, senior meals. That says this is for older adults. The good kitchen, farm to table. These are movements that we understand. And there's a lot of elements here, like how does it work? And the one thing I'll say is, like, the design of these sites is often iffy, questionable at best, which is why you coming in and kind of getting a sense for, oh yeah, I like this, but I don't like that. I think it's really helpful for you. Eat like you train. This is targeting towards athletes. So, find what's great about these is that they have, and you can close your eyes and see who their customer is. They know, they're not trying to go after everybody. They're trying to say, okay, I need a particular type of user. Now, it's one thing to go through and target, athletes across the nation. If you are a, like Trifecta Nutrition here, um, they are, they've got a range here that they're targeting. Uh, they want people who need a lot of food variety. They've got a rotating weekly menu designed for nutrition, fitness, and weight loss. They do have an a la carte option with minimum purchase. You're getting so much information into, okay, how are they structuring this? And like we said in the UX program or the UX course, so much of what you design will start with, okay, what's the message? Who am I talking to? You can't really even begin to, put visuals together or, in some ways, select a color palette until you really know who you're targeting and what your offering is going to be. There's no reason to like wireframe anything. So much of this is providing a base for that. Additionally, I did go through a few of the heuristics that you were putting together. I think here you're getting a good sense of where the, in a lot of places, it's like consistencies and standards. Yes, they follow design standards pretty well. This is for Real Eats. And if we go to Real Eats just for a second, because I don't think I've got that one open. Yeah, Real Eats is here. It's very consistent. It's not great. I would not say this is a great design, but it's very consistent. It feels like Real Eats. It doesn't feel like multiple different sites are cobbled together here. But if we go back to your heuristics, so yes, it's easy to go back, but it isn't the most intuitive route that they could have taken. You can select the step before from the cookie crumb versus a back. You have to select okay. So you have to select the step before. So let's take a look at that. So if I go to meal plans, and yeah, this is not very nice at all. Okay, I can select meals. I don't really want to see that. I want to see the menu, and I want to see peppercorn steak. And let's see if we can see the. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, why would they do? That's just an image. Why would they do that? That's no good. I don't want to see this on anybody's projects. Yeah, I can see how we get back to on the menu. I'm not finding the breadcrumbs really. I'm just kind of clicking through, and yeah, I'm gonna get 4 peppercorn steaks and 2 Texas briskets and a Greek chicken, and okay, now I can hit next. So that was one thing I did like. I did like the fact that it gave you some indication of how many did you need to select, and then you hit next. But it's rough. It's rough. But that's something you only really begin to notice as you're going through and doing the heuristics, because it's really easy to kind of jump in and go, oh, okay, that's form or factor 75. This is Magic Kitchen. This is the Good Kitchen. This is Trifecta. It's real easy to kind of like high level gloss over the top of them. But now with the heuristics, you can really get in and say, this sort of study allows you to dive back into the document and really understand what it is that these sites are offering, a little more. Well, it's what I'm trying to say is this is a form of note taking, and there's a lot of details about a site that you won't be able to recall unless you do this level of digging. Now, because you've done the heuristics testing, these sites will be easier to recall when it comes time to do design decisions, and you begin asking yourself, okay, so what was the was this was what I'm considering doing a standard, or is this really a feature of what the Fresh Market is trying to do? And you'll there are table stakes to this. Like there are very basic things that just have to be in each of these sites. And by studying them as closely as you have, you now better understand what those are. Like pretty much every single one of these has some sort of how it works. So there's how it works, If we go back to Real Eats, this tells you how it works. If we go over here to Trifecta, how Trifecta works. The story is always slightly different. Sometimes they'll use a video, like this one is just kind of using a video to walk you through. Let's see here. This one's got a how it works. So everybody like wants to tell you how their thing works and how it's different. That's like table stakes, but there are different ways of doing it. Like if we come back in here, like Trifecta, it's showing a bunch of body overhauls here essentially, and I love it when somebody goes from ripped to more ripped. Like those images are always fun. But this is eat like a world-class athlete. I'm not sure. So apparently these are all people that use Trifecta. So this is that social proof thing. These are like quotes from customers. If we come over here to Good Kitchen, that's for Trifecta. This is their testimonial section. Okay, so there's different ways to present this information, but knowing what's present, it helps you understand what your customer is going to expect to see in your site. So I think you've done a really good job here. If you want to go through and do the heuristics on Magic Kitchen and Factor, I'm not gonna hate it. I don't have them linked here, so I'm guessing those are forthcoming. But I would say that you did 7. That's way beyond what I'm typically looking for here. But what I will say is that anytime you do research, and I'm talking to everybody who's watching this, anytime you do research, you shouldn't aim for the minimum. Okay, the minimum is there in the program. I put the minimum there because you're just getting started. You've never, in many cases, many of you have never done this before. You're not sure how much research to do. Research is always directly tied to confidence, and the more research you do, the greater confidence you'll have in the design solutions that you make. If you find yourself in a situation where you're like, I just hate doing research, that should tell you something, that maybe UX work is not for you. But I do think that regardless of what tangent of design you decide that you want to be part of, you've got to realize that there is some research. There's research in everything, and some of that research is like just going through and understanding the product. Other bits of research is understanding the flow of a particular process. Other bits of research are just understanding what are the technical possibilities. Some of those are UI related. Some of those are UX related. Some of those are product related. But just understand that regardless of what you decide to do as a designer, there's going to be some research involved. Right now, Bren is working through the competitor research, but this is going to help her shape the product. All right, so Bren, really good job there. I'm going to close these because I think we've taken a look at a lot of meal plans this morning. So Ricardo, you are back in here with you've updated your existing components exercise. So let's come on over here to where you're at. Yesterday we took a look at this, and like right now it says recipes. If I click on recipes, you've made some adjustments. Like this spacing is a little better. You're still tighter to the bottom than you are to the top. So this is where I'm looking for just execution. Also, you've got by Ricardo Lopez, by Ricardo Lopez, by Ricardo Lopez. I don't necessarily know if the author of the recipe is particularly important at this level. I can totally see having that information somewhere in here, and that's what's interesting to me is we have your name out here on the card, but when we actually get in and begin looking at the information inside, it's like it's nowhere. So it's like if it's not important enough to have when we're showing all the details, I don't necessarily know why I would have it out here on the card. The new versus popular, you made the button larger. That's great. The whole thing probably wouldn't glow. It would probably, it might show me that this side is selectable. So there's some more work to do on the shape. And look at the size of this typography. This has got to be like 24. This is 20. Um, like like why would this be the most important thing on the entire page? Also, as we're looking at the spacing, like I understand having this spacing from the sides. I think I think this needs something. Maybe if you're thinking about this from the perspective of the assignment, let's go back and look at the assignment because I think that that's important here. It says we are, um, this interface will display the results for the search query of a search query for the word chicken. So we need something here. Sorry, that's not you. This is you. We need something here telling us what we're looking at. This search says chicken up here, but what is this page? Like, it seems like this should be results for search, results for chicken. Like that should be up here because these are the results for chicken, and then you can parse them, you can flip them around, new and popular. I do appreciate the fact that these are now reordering. But those are the things. Like if we go back to the assignment, that's important. And when we look at Leaf, where it starts, it says chicken for every occasion. Yes and no, because like I've got fudge here, I've got pancakes, I've got French fries, I've got lasagna. I don't know that these are all. Um, I don't know fresh fries. I don't know that these are all chicken related, but the way that we've set this up is that it's like a chicken site, and that wasn't the prompt. The prompt is actually, if you go in here and you're searching for chicken, this is where the exercise should start. Okay, and I understand you've built this on the front end, and I think that's fine. Um, I think that's fine, but like, and when we click on recipes, that does get us to here, but it's is this a promo? And maybe I'm misreading this. And again, I'm reading this from the perspective of the prompt. The prompt says, I'm looking at search results for chicken. I think we're getting there because we're here. And if you want to have something more expressive and expansive out here, I think that's fine. But I need some sort of, is there a reason why this promo is here at the size that it is? I don't know what, keep in mind, if I've clicked on the leaf and this is the home page, I don't really know what the leaf is. Is this a recipe site? Like what's going on? And that's why in the prompt I started you off over here. I was like, just give me search results, and then from there let's jump into the actual the dishes. And when I look at the dishes, I see, we've got some nice pieces. But another one of the prompts here is, if we come back to the client's goal is to display the information in a manner that encourages discovery via image display. So, you've got part of that. The images are played well here. I do wonder, is there something more we should be doing with images? We've got a lot of images like that. This spreadsheet has like 3 images per dish. We're using one of them. Is there some sort of interaction that should be occurring on all of these individual pages? Most sites that you go to, you'll get a preview image. No, sorry. Most sites that you go to, and I do appreciate the fact that you've like got these linking back and forth properly. Most sites will give you a preview image, and then there'll be something more expansive inside on the actual dish page. And it feels like right now, like a lot of thought has went into this page, a lot of thoughts went into this page, little thought has went into this page. Like it's just like half and half. Let's put a square photo here. There's no interaction here really, aside from I can get back to chicken or I can get back to the home page. It does all link together, but what's that next step? Because when I look at this, I see I see some sort of header. I see some ratings. I see some comments. I see time, servings, ingredients. There's nothing really styled here. This is just like text on page. There's no, like I haven't went in and tried to style this. There's no like little clock here or little serving size or like there's we've not done anything with it. I've got quote marks around the ingredients. Um, you know, I've got step 1, step 2, step 3, but it just feels like there's so much more that can be done with this page. The question is, what will you do with it? I would start by adding more images and making those items selectable, and then I would look at this information over here to the left, and I would say, okay, what else could I do with this rail? Is it a situation where I take the ingredients and I stack them to the side? Is it a situation where I take time and servings and I move those to 1 and 2? Do I do something with time and serving and then maybe putting ingredients below and I put steps? Like, what order of what do I do with the information here? Because right now it's just on the page. Okay, there needs to be some information design happening here, and I haven't seen it yet. Let's hop in. Okay, so Abraham's here, and Abraham has got he's got a project here looking at blood pressure. You've got a few questions here. Is there a better way to handle the date selection than I'm currently doing? Right now, I'm guessing that if I click start, I get some sort of, and I'm gonna just turn this on to see if we get something here. Okay, I don't have any sort of prototyping here. So if I click start, I would want to get a calendar. And if I clicked end, I would want to get a calendar. The really important thing here is I don't know what the formatting is that you're looking for. Like, are you looking for day, month? Are you looking for day, month, year? Or are you looking for Monday to Thursday? Is this a start end? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Another way to do this would have a literal calendar widget next to it. Like you just have a calendar widget, like move all this over, have a calendar there, and then you hit it and it opens up the calendar and tells you, okay, select from the dates that we're showing. That's how I would handle that. You had a question here related to does it make sense to show which date is applied in the chips above the chart? Oh, yeah, up here, custom date range. Yeah, I think that would make sense because you can clear it out here, and then that changes the chart below, so that everything you're viewing these dates and within this time span, and I think that makes a lot of sense. As far as you said, you were talking about this 130/90. Do you need to can you get away with displaying the last reading without a label? My question there is it big enough? Should it be larger? Should there be, some sort of color to it? I think it's fine where it's at. I'm just wondering is there something else that should be calling attention to it, or is it fine just like that? And part of this, I think, this is where motion comes into play. If you saw it moving around and like pulsing, or the number changing, blood pressure wouldn't change, but this number is going to move around as these readings are coming in. But I don't know necessarily if it's showing me live. It could be showing me like it took a reading earlier and this is just static. I mean, I can move from point to point, but it's not. This isn't like live updating. It's relatively static. And then the alert status, where it is on the chart, you've got elevated pulse and no alerts. I think that's fine. My real question is on this pulse. Is that reading big enough for me to recognize that as like this is the current thing. And from that perspective, I don't know. I think it's a bit subtle. I don't necessarily think you need a label there. I think it may need to be bigger or have some sort of color applied to it so that it stands out. Um, all right, so let's take a look here. Let's take a look here at, yes, Kara, and I want to make sure that we've got Kara's journal open, because we set a target here to finalize updates to accommodate desired test and to do product testing. So we've got the flows in now. So you've got a set of tests that you want me to run, and this is very much what you want to do anytime before you begin a user test. You want to go through and say, okay, let's take the flows that we're going to be asking people to complete, and let's push ourselves through the prototype and see where the breakpoints are. So show me how to browse recipes. So I've got your project up and running here. So Fresh Market, what I'm really hoping that somebody does is they take a good pass through this and they kind of acclimate themselves. So show me how to, I believe it was view recipes, or yeah, show me how to browse recipes. So I've got menus, plans, gift cards, login, sign up. That's interesting. It's a little hiccup right there. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Prepare meals from our kitchen to yours. Try a sample. How it works. Here is how we select plans, browse menus, get started. Look out there. You've got like something's kicking over. You are a trusted community. So all right, so I'm trying to browse recipes. So I'm going to get first name, last name down here too. I'm going to guess. I'm going to go to menus and browse meals and view recipes up to 4 weeks in advance. So I'm going to view details here, and it's interesting because if we go back to menu and I click view details, back to menu, I'm going to scroll up. I don't necessarily think that it should be preserving scroll position when you're entering a new page. You want to preserve scroll position when you're going through a continuation of like a form or something. But here, I think I would start them at the top. So this is chicken tortilla soup. It's going to take me 20 minutes to do it. Okay, so you've got ingredients. Although I think it should be ingredients. You've got the steps. And okay, so let's take a look at another one. So this is broccoli chicken Devon. Got ingredients. You got the steps. Are we missing a label that says recipe? Or I think that may be, that may throw people off because, I know what the meal is. Also, view details is slightly off kilter. If you're looking at it and you're trying to center it, I think you can see it better here because this is center and view details is off to the left. It's very minor, but it is something I wanted to point out. Yeah, I think just a label that says recipes is missing here, and that would help people realize that, hey, I did solve that user story. Show me how much plans cost. Okay, so if I go back to the home page, I see how it works. I'm going to explore plans. Okay, I can't select that. So, okay, I'll try it up here. But I think it is important to basically link from here and there to the same. I mean, this plan calculator is fine, but I would link to them both from that other page. Meal preference. We'll go for dinner. I'm gonna say 3 meals. I guess 3. Okay, so I guess my delivery is Monday, and it looks like my plan calculator says it's gonna be $80. Um, is it $80 a week? $80 a month? I don't know how many. I don't know what that. You know, seems like meals per week, servings per meal, total per month, week. I don't know. I don't know. You know, if I look at the plans, I appreciate the plan calendar, but I don't know what the total per month, or is it per month or per week? I can't tell right now, and I think that is something you're going to want to address. Okay. Let's keep rolling though. Show me how to get you. Show me how you can get a sample. Okay. So sample here. Oh, try a sample. Okay. So try a sample on before committing on us. Let's say meat, and I'll give you my. Oh, we're going to Sesame Street. Love it. Okay, success. You've received your sample request. There was one thing I was going to point out. Like as you get down here, when you say get sample, I don't think there's any reason to preserve scroll position here. I think you should come back up to the top. So we were able to do sample pretty effectively, but now we're in the menu dashboard. Okay, so that like I guess I'm signed up now because I just created. I got my sample. Show me how to place your first order. Okay, this is a really good prompt. I'm gonna place my first order, and what's interesting is the sample dropped me here. So I'm gonna go back to Fresh Market or account. You can see all that. Let's go to Fresh Market. All right, everything's already selected, and I think that's probably not great. I think we need to have the ability to go in and do the selection. So let's go back to menus, and okay, recipe add it to your order for the week of February 1st. Okay, back to menus. Okay. Oh, interesting. So you've went through and okay. Oh, okay. So, ooh, weird. Okay. You've completed your. Does it do it here? Oh, it does. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so we probably need to deactivate those. There's got to be a prompt in here that says when I have this overlay, like right now this overlay is kind of brokey. So we should go in and take a look at what's happening here, because your idea is correct, but these are still selectable. So, and I can't, I just got back to there. So we go back to menus, and it says, "Hey, you've completed your first week's order." I guess my question here is, should that really happen here, or should we be getting that right here? Should this notification pop up and say, "You've just completed your first week's order"? You go to account, click here to go to see your account. Then you go back over here to the account setting, and you can kind of see everything. Where do I view the meals that are coming? See how I can view that. I see how I view my preferences. I don't necessarily know how I see what meals are coming. I'm going to guess that that's what this is trying to show me. So these are, select your meals for this upcoming week. And if I select that, select that, select that, okay, so we've got this. I'll go back to menus, and okay, so now I'm back to completed the first order. So there's a little bit of a hiccup here, but the big thing, Kara, that I want to solve for is this, because you've got the right idea. I'm going to give you a confirmation that your order has been submitted, but where it's showing up, everything's kind of layered on top of each other, and that's creating a problem. So provided that they can get to here, I think that's fine. I do want to check. Show me how to cancel a week's subscription. Okay, so we've got to first figure out how to get out of here. So I'm going to come back to Fresh Market. I want to cancel a week's subscription. You can edit or skip to February 1st. Okay, so I can skip up to a point. So skip that week. I'll try to skip this week. Okay, skipped. It's interesting. I think you've got the right idea, and I like the fact that it gives you some visual indication here. I do kind of wonder if it should be earlier. Like, did you change your mind? Okay, so this updates to did you change your mind? Yes, I can unskip. I hate it that it's buried at the bottom from a UX perspective, but I like that it's not buried in the account. Like, I don't have to go into the account. Although, should I be able to, like, I guess my question here is, where is my order log? Like, this is what you ordered last week. Do you want to reorder? This is what you've got coming for an additional week. These are the weeks that you skipped. Like, it seems like there's a log here that's missing, like something connected to the account page. But this is really where we're getting into the realm of opinion versus testing. Like, I've got some ideas for, like, okay, here, like, there should be a log. Does there need to be? Why don't we go try what we've got after we address a few of the prototype usability issues, like that multiple stacking modal thing. That's got to be fixed. But otherwise, I really do think that you've got largely what I believe you need. There are some tweaks, like label for recipes. What is the frequency of the plan cost? Is it monthly? Is it weekly? Sample works fine, but scroll position. First order, I think first order works fine, but the confirmation is the question. So there's like lots of little tweaks. That log thing though is like, that's a feature. Like that's a feature. Like, is that something that should be added? Listen to your testers. I would make adjustments and go test. That's what I would do here. Make adjustments, go test. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's edition of the Feedback Loop. So good to have all of you riding along with me. That was Kara, that was Abraham, that was Ricardo and Bryn. Once again, congrats to Ruby. We celebrate our wins here. Ruby is in the final rounds for not one but 2 positions. Super excited for her. Hearing back from so many of you, so many successful tales right now of people that are on the job hunt. I'm excited to continue those conversations. And remember, we do design mentorship here, but part of design mentorship is mentoring through that career phase. There are many of you that are in a professional role that are still receiving mentorship here, or many of you that are going and striving for, you're grabbing for the next ladder rung, and you're signed up here, and I appreciate that. Tell your friends, and if you're watching this thinking, hey, is New Pragmatic for me? Why don't you listen to the students that are already here? All right, I'll see you folks